Alright, hello, welcome to your 9th Selenium tutorial. This one's going to be a little bit different than the previous ones in that it's not going to be talking about a keyword in the language per se, but it is going to be talking about a different type of expression or keyword. This is going to be the let keyword. Essentially what the let keyword does is it lets you bind or set a name to a given function. So let's say we have this function s, and we want it to sum the numbers that are less than or equal to the input that is provided. So we want to intersperse a plus into a list of numbers, so 1 to 1, and we could start at 0 obviously, but there's no point in adding 0 because that doesn't do anything. Anyway, to less than or equal to x, so essentially we need to add 1 to x to make sure, because otherwise it would just be less than x, so we want to add 1 to x, and then that way it'll be less than or equal to it. So essentially we're going to sum the numbers from 1 to x. So we hit enter, and then it completes it instantly because it doesn't actually do any computation, it just gets the thing. So now we can call s by just typing s and then putting down a number. You know, so it gives us back the sum. You can verify that if you really want, or you can use the formula, which would be much more efficient, but that's not the point of this tutorial. Anyway, so really all this does is it's just another way to make it more convenient. It's not an actual, like, doesn't actually do anything special. It just finds all the s's and then it's like, oh, there's an s. Quickly, let me replace that with this function. Alright, so I've defined a few others of these, one of them being the Fibonacci sequence generator, which I will show you actually, so I'll be right back. Alright, so here it is. This uses one language feature that I haven't shown you yet, but pretty much just don't worry about that. I'll just delete it actually, so you don't have to worry about it. Pretty much what it does is it generates it. All it does is it takes the number and then generates a Fibonacci sequence. So essentially what it does is it adds the number that is 1 less than it to, and then multiplies the number that is 1 less than it by 2, then subtracts the number that is 3 less than it, or the Fibonacci number, the third one before it, because that's another formula for generating the Fibonacci sequence. It's a little bit faster than the original, or the commonly known one, which is just add the previous two numbers together, because it doesn't have to be iterated over quite so many times. And when you generate larger Fibonacci numbers, even the 25th one takes a lot of computational time, even with the faster method. And when you have even larger ones, it can take, like the 30th one, that takes 7 seconds, which is quite a while. And if you did it with the original method, it would take significantly longer. I wager it would take almost more than twice as long, I would say. But anyway, that's not really the point of this. So you can just give things names. I have a collapse sequence generator as well that I defined, which essentially just takes a number and then it generates its collapse sequence, which can be long or can be short. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. Maybe I'll explain it in some other video, but not in this one. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's the basics of the let expression.